Hi Aquarius, welcome to your February 2020 love and general reading. I'm Gemstone Tarot. Valentine joins us, she is asleep on the bed. You are Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Cross Watchers, everybody welcome. Aquarius, what do we need to know? February is an interesting month. There's a lot going on. We've got a full moon in your opposite sign about the 9th, I think, in Leo. We've got a new moon in, well, we've got Mercury going retrograde. I tried to say that without like, Mercury going retrograde. Mercury going retrograde on the 17th. So pretty much, really, by about the 7th, you're going to feel that energy. And a new moon in Pisces, I think around the 24th, and the sun goes into Pisces. Not the most comfortable energy for you, but it brings a lot to the table, so let's see. I mean, Mercury retrograde itself always brings a lot to the table, doesn't it? Maybe it's been reheated and you've seen it before, but it brings a lot to the table. I am using the Palladini Tarot, Aquarius. It's going to be a big one, as the actress said to the bishop. Right. There will be an extended reading and the link will be in the description box. No, not that one. Those ones. Weird. Wow. Your readings for the last 2 months, Aquarius, oh lovely, have been quite kind of powerful about standing up for yourself and standing up for what you deserve and not putting up with anything that's subpar. And it does, yeah, feel like, it's giving me an itchy ear. It does feel like there's been an irritant. There's been something difficult here. Ooh, very nice. Ooh. Bottom of the pack, the Emperor. Taking charge. This probably got kicked off. It may even go back to 2018, some of this, for some of you. When you get Mercury retrogrades coming in a month, what you tend to find, or I tend to find, is that they pick up themes of previous Mercury retrogrades. Your readings became quite deep around the time of Mercury retrograde. It was in Scorpio, I think, and it was 31st of October, so Halloween. Mercury went retrograde, didn't it, in 2019? And we also had loads of scorpionic energy at the time. And it really dredged the lake for a lot of us. And I feel like some of the themes that came up during that time are going to re-emerge for you during this Mercury retrograde, but you're probably much further on and also much more powerful. Some of you may face a decision whether to stay or whether to walk away from a situation, which I feel like it's been around for a while. I've got the 10 of Swords, okay, so something has been going on, okay, clearly something has been going on. We've got a guy with 10 swords in his back. And the important thing as well with the 10 of Swords is they're always in your back. They're not in your front, you know, and there's this kind of ancient code of honour, isn't there, really, that you don't attack someone who's moving away from you. So there is a sense of injustice with the 10. The good thing about the 10 is that it's moved on from the 9 and it kind of reaches a cycle. I feel like this 10, this could even be like 10 years, 10 months, or going back to when you were 10, particularly if you have issues with the masculine, okay? It could be the father, it could be your father, father figure, you know, any form of masculine in your life when you were between about 5 and 10. It feels like anyone who, I mean, you can't, especially with parents, you can't just say, you know, well, you can, but this parent was all good or this parent was all bad. You know, we're not getting into that kind of judgy territory. We're just inspecting the wounds here, okay? And this is a process. And Mercury retrograde encourages us to do like an artist retrospective, you know, to heave the old paintings out of the loft and dust them off and go, oh God, I haven't seen that for a while. So imagine that these are your emotional injuries, okay? I mean, I know I've got Venus in Aquarius. It's not something Aquarians are particularly fond of doing. You are a sign that's very good at moving forward, actually. That is your strong suit. But there does come a time sometimes, and this may have been triggered by the lunar eclipse that we had on the 10th of January in Cancer. There does come a time when you need to examine where your injuries lie. Probably because we've got a full moon in Leo, which is your opposite sign. That to me sounds, it's another fixed sign. It sounds quite suitable for your purposes. It sounds, you know, Leo's quite heart driven. It just feels like you will be making a wholehearted attempt to understand yourself, a pattern, a situation, or even someone else. And from that attempt, you will formulate how you need to behave. Because we have the Emperor over here in the overall kind of energy position, this is to do with dominant masculinity. It is to do with how you take charge of yourself, how you take charge of your life, your relationships, how you take charge of moving into 2020, where you go from here with others and in your own life. Now, there is this very interesting energy here. We've got the 10 of Swords, the 5 of Cups, which again, almost deciding which cups to grieve and which remain upright. 3 are down, 2 are upright. Next to that, this very beautiful energy of love offer coming in, of love coming to you, the Knight of Cups. Here is my cup. But you're looking straight at it with the 5. And in a way, you're kind of going to be called to make a decision. Which cups are up and which cups are down? Which cups do I want to drink from and which are lost forever? You know, it's quite a distinct energy for you, Aquarius. So there is here, this could be new love coming in for some of you as well. And it could be a water sign, or it could be, yeah, it could be a water sign or a Sag or a Leo actually. This Knight of Cups, I mean, it's one of the nicest, but you're facing it head on with your wounds. I know. It could be somebody who you've broken up with as well, because hey, I know it's a cliche for Mercury retrograde, but God, it's a cliche because it's true. People return when Mercury's retrograde. They just do. You know, I've been on the planet looking at astrology and tarot long enough to witness it. I don't know why, but they do. So for some of you, someone who broke your heart may limp back into your life, and you may need to decide whether that is a cup that is forever turned over or is still remaining upright, because there's love on the table, but it's complicated. It's complicated, and somehow you're going to need to take charge of that decision. This other person, you know, the Knight of Cups is a love offer, but they may not have the path forward. They may not know how, or they may need to be told what the rules are, what the new rules are. Because this could be, you know, it could have been several months that you haven't seen or heard from this person. Some of you may be very surprised to hear from this person. You might have written the whole thing off. It also, you know, when you've got the 5 of Cups, and up here we've got the 8 of Cups, which is the walking away, Saturn in Pisces. For some of you, this person left you. For others of you, you may have left them because their behaviour was so heartbreaking. It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? So there's a sense of sorrow and of grief and of separation. There's also a sense of examining where that's come from. You may examine where your wounds lie, how your family relationships, how your early childhood experiences may have contributed to what happened. And don't think of that in terms of judgment or fault. It isn't. It's just what happened, okay? And then somehow in February, you're kind of fighting the woods, you know, you're going through the woods. It's like there's brambles and all that. Here we are with the 5 of Wands. You're fighting through this energy. You're fighting through the thickets. And this can be other people sticking their oar in. It can be kind of red tape. It can be, it's not the same as like the 7 of Cups where it's emotional confusion. It can be things like distance and timing. You know, this person, they may come to you at completely the wrong time. Especially if there was a lot of periods of time when you were getting over this person where you would have done anything for them to have come back to you with the Knight of Cups. Anything. And then the moment, and this is a very frequent thing, isn't it? The moment that you have really given up on the whole thing, there they are. Mercury's retrograde, the Knight of Cups. Okay. Now, in the middle of your reading, beautiful card, Temperance, Major Arcana. Sagittarius energy. And notice here, notice how on the 5 of Cups, where we've got the 3 cups down and the 2 cups remaining. And then next to that, we've got that Knight of Cups. So here's a cup being offered. Temperance, this person is learning or enjoying pouring water from one cup to another. So there's 2 cups here. You've got to learn how to fly with your cups again. That's not even like a sentence that makes sense, but I think you get it. You've got a bit of emotional adjusting to do here. You've got a bit of emotional juggling. You need to feel where you are happiest, where you feel okay, how this situation can be okay for you. How can this work for you? You know, what cups can you work with and what cups do you have to reject? Some of you will decide to reject this person because you've reached a point where you can, or you've reached a point where you can't do this anymore. That's, you know, not quite the same as a point where you can, it's a point where you can't. It becomes more painful to stay the same than it does to change, and that this person represents staying the same to you, and you've kind of moved on. For others of you, can you rebuild something out of the kind of ashes of the 10 of Swords? Certainly you can, if you take charge of it with the Emperor. We have the 6 of Wands, which is winner, winner, chicken dinner, okay? This is a card of victory. There is a way forward for you. If you think about how this goes, okay, this is all like, I can't see you, oh God, push on, push. 5 of Wands, push on through adversity to reach that 6. There's a progression here. You can progress. You can, I don't want to say win, but let's say win, okay? You can win. Everybody likes to win. What am I talking about? But the way that you find that way forward is by knowing which cups are over and which cups are up. I know. Let's have some Chuck Spezzano love cards. card hasn't come up for ages. The healing card of self-love. Yeah. That's that Ten of Swords, examining the wounds, okay? Examining the wounds and learning to kiss them better yourself. This other person, of course, can't really do that for you, and it's not really their job. And also, you may have been practicing some real self-love, and you may from that have just moved beyond this situation. And even if you haven't moved beyond this situation, you're certainly in a place where you're ready to take charge of your own boundaries, okay? Problem card of infidelity. For some of you, this person may have cheated, or there may have been a third party, or when they met you, they weren't really over someone else, and it was, you know, not emotionally, it was a bit emotionally messy. You need to make that decision where your boundaries lie with that kind of thing, and whether they cheated or whether they didn't, and how that sits with you. Then we also get the luck card of dream come true. For some of you, you've manifested this. It can be a new person coming in which case you manifested it out of rejecting the other person, out of what you did not want. Because when you get the Ten of Swords, you know, you go back to the Ace. You know what you want. You certainly know what you don't want. For others of you, you dreamed of this person coming back to you. And in a way, be careful what you wish for, because it looks like they're going to do that. Then you still have to make a sensible and informed decision, okay? Let's have an oracle card. In your extended reading, I'm going to look at that Eight of Cups. I'm going to look at the Five of Cups. And I'm going to look at the Six of Wands. How to win. What's the most successful way to move forward? Because I think we need to look at that. And what cups are down and what cups are up. No room on the table. No room at the inn. Okay. The Thinker. Yeah. Here we are. In deep contemplation, Aquarius, of the wounded. I want to call you the wounded soldier in a way. Balance. The bowling ball. Finding balance between what cups are down and what cups are up, okay? This is really exciting. Aquarius, make sure you are subscribed, and I'm going to go and do your extended reading now. So click the link in the description box and I will see you on the other side. Namaste.